Alright guys, another struggles video. Yes, I've been at it all night. I'm just on a roll. All that keeps popping in my head are ideas for videos. So I'm just gonna roll with it. Yeah. So like I said, I told you guys there's a lot of things in my life that I've had to struggle with. This isn't a real struggle so much as it is just like an annoyance. This one is the struggles of having a bunch of animals. I think I've talked to you guys about this before, but I have 6, 7, 8, 9 animals. I have 3 cats, 2 boys and a girl, Shade, Jade, and Cerberus. I have 3 dogs, 2 boys and a girl, Havoc, Nightmare, and Bruno. I have a ferret, which is technically, I guess, my boyfriend's daughter's, but she had an issue, and I was like, listen, I'm going to take care of this from now on. And her name is Fairy. And then I have a Hedgie and a lizard, Quillen Mayhem. So there's that. And it's not so much a hassle feeding them or anything, like especially like Mayhem and Quill, because I have a Mayhem's a fancy albino leopard gecko, so she only eats a little bit. She's still kind of tiny, which I'm trying to fatten her up. Really, like, I love my animals fat and happy. And it's really bugging me that she's not fat. She's like 2 years old and she's still kind of skinny. And I fattened up the ferret a little bit since I've been here, because it wasn't originally my ferret. It was originally just here. But all my animals are pretty much chunky. I love chunky monkeys. But speaking of which, they're getting agitated that I've been down here so long. But I have a struggle because there's 2 things. Clothes. That's all I'm gonna say. Clothes and furniture. If you sit down on my couch I sit down on my couch, you're gonna get hair on you. It's gonna happen. I'm not one of those people who's gonna restrict my dogs from getting on my couch, who, like, I don't have a bed for them, because that's a waste of money. Why buy a bed when I have a freaking couch? You know what I'm saying? Or my own bed, for that matter. But most of my dogs are white, and so sometimes I get white hairs on me, and it used to be really bad, and then I discovered dryer sheets, and they got a lot better. And I decided also to get a lint roller and a lint brush, which are actually 2 different things, if you guys didn't know that. But I got both of them because I was like, I'm definitely getting hold on this. So I don't go to work or anything with hair on me. But every time someone sees like white hairs on me, they're like, oh, your cat shed on you. I want to look at them and be like, bitch, please. I have black cats, and these are dog hairs. You know, no judges. I also, like, I don't know, everything's in extremes. Everything's in extremes. I have an extremely large family. I have an extremely large fur family. Havoc? No! Sorry. I have a bunch of brothers and sisters, and I also have a bunch of animals. People laugh and are like, oh, you got a zoo. And I'm like, yeah, kind of. And I'm proud of the amount of animals that I have. I'm proud of that because I can take care of them all properly. The majority of them weren't taken care of before, and that's how I got them. I'll tell you a little bit of backstories, I guess. Bruno came with my boyfriend. He's a beagle, and my boyfriend had him. He just kind of stuck with me. But yeah, he's my boyfriend's dog. Technically not mine, but I feed him, so. And then Nightmare and Havoc are my 2 Jack Russells, and I got from Howling Timbers Wolf Sanctuary. Look it up if you guys want to. It's an amazing place. They always need volunteers and stuff, and they always need things to donate, like even if it's old food, because they have a bunch of animals there that they need to feed, and a lot of them will eat like stuff that's technically expired but isn't bad. But if you're one of those picky people, because I never grew up as one of those picky people. The lettuce said it was a day old, and I was like, but it's still green. Either way, look that up. I got them there, and when I asked them about their home situation previous to when I bought them, they told me that they couldn't disclose any of that, but that it was a very bad environment. There was 3 pups, and 3. I only see 2 fingers. 3 pups, and one of them had gotten, like, right away, had gone. I found out later that she ended up getting brought back, and I felt really bad for not going back and getting her to keep all the puppies together, but then I was reading online, you really shouldn't have multiple Jack Russells in a house, and I learned that too, because my female Jack Russell is just ridiculous. She's also the alpha and the smallest, so I think that's a little weird. But anyways, my cats. Jade, I actually got from my sister's house. It's not that my sister didn't feed her. She fed her, but she was really skinny because she didn't want to get off the top of the fridge, and she had like bald patches and stuff. And my sister said that just happened during the winter, and it hasn't happened in the past 2 years that I've had her. Almost 2 years. So I'm thinking it was just stress because my sister had 3 other boy cats, and she was the only one who was declawed, the only one that was fixed, the only one that was, kind of defenseless. Well, my cats aren't declawed either, but they're not mean. Like, they're not mean cats. They're all very nice, and they blend well with each other, I think. Shade, a friend actually found him in the woods in my hometown. He was covered in scabs because he's allergic to fleas. And I'm assuming that's why someone just set him outside, because he had fleas, and then they just let him go. Well, because he was an outside cat, he was rambunctious and rebellious, and he really just did not want to listen, disobedient. I mean, most cats are disobedient, but he was like outrageously slow. So, sorry. Outrageously slow, because he would tear up stuff. Like, and I mean tear up stuff. He still does on occasion, but not very often. He's been trained not to. He also has been trained to retract his claws, which my mom taught him, so I thought that was pretty awesome. Anyone who says you can't train a cat is a liar. But then there's Cerberus, and I found him at my work in the parking lot. He just came up to me and started rubbing on my leg, and I petted him, and I was like, there's houses around here, and let's see if maybe you're one of their cats. And it was right before our first big storm, winter storm. So I was like, well, I'll just keep him till, after the winter storm's over, whatever. That didn't happen. I posted up on Facebook that I had found him. I posted up on Craigslist that I had found him. The only thing that I didn't do was post actual flyers, and with everything being the way that it is, everyone has a social media. If anyone was looking for this cat, they would have found him. So I'm assuming he was a stray, but he wasn't feral or anything like a normal stray would be. He was a very loving cat, or is. He is a very loving cat. So I still stand behind that he has some kind of owner. He's also fascinated with toilets. So, I mean, I don't know. It could go either way. Mayhem is actually the only animal that I bought. I bought her at PetSmart, and it breaks my heart to see all those lizards in those cages, and those, especially if there are multiple lizards, and then you read the guidebook or whatever on them, and it says that they're solo animals, that they aren't really pack animals, but you've got like 6 of them in one cage, and you're only feeding them a certain amount of crickets, and then you're wondering why the little ones are dying and the big ones are eating them, and all this stuff. It's like, really? But there's that. Quill, a friend gave to me because she could no longer take care of him properly because of certain circumstances. She was supposed to take him back, but then it ended up I grew attached to him, and she respected that. Um, I also got Fairy, like I said, because Matthew's daughter she wasn't mistreating her. She just wasn't as attentive as she should have been. And she was young and stuff like that. So I understood. I just didn't want anything bad to happen to an animal. Like I don't do well with that. I don't do well with skinny animals. I don't do well with flea-ridden animals. I just don't. But yeah, so most of my animals are rescues. And for someone to sit there and be like, "Oh, you've got cat hair on you," it kind of pisses me off. Pardon my language, but it makes me hostile. That's a struggle, though, is the pet hair problem. Another struggle is when someone comes over to your house and your dogs don't like to listen to the fact that you're telling them no, not to jump. I have Jack Russells. They're jumpers. I have a very, very spastic beagle who's fat, but doesn't think that he's fat. He thinks he's the size of a chihuahua. And he likes to act like a lapdog. And he's really heavy with bony paws. So it's really doesn't work out well. And my female Jack Russell grows nails like that. And they're like crazy long. And no matter how much we clip them or get them clipped, they just grow back even longer. And it bugs the crap out of me, but I don't know how to stop it. I don't even know why. But her brother, who's the same exact age, same breed, same everything, he doesn't even really grow his nails at all. So I'm like, what is he doing? Giving his nails to her? What the heck's going on? But anyway, so there's the struggle of when a person comes over, they get attacked by my dogs. And if you ever come to my house, just expect that because it will happen. My dogs let me know when people are around, and that's how I like it. Another thing that's a struggle is when an animal makes noise. We've had our neighbors threaten to call the cops because our dogs bark in the middle of the day before 10 o'clock. Literally threatened to call the cops. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to put a shock collar on my dog for barking because he's a dog. Does that make any sense? He's a dog. They bark. It's just something they do. Now, I know he excessively barks, and then we have a beagle who howls, and that's kind of frustrating, but it's a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have a dog that I'm sure was a puppy at some point and barked. In fact, there is a whole group of dogs down the road. Actually, it's on the other side of this neighbor, so that's probably why they think that we're so terrible, because it's like 3 or 4 dogs. It has to be. Unless it's one really, really loud, really, really like kind of dog that's constantly barking. Like every 5 minutes, I feel like I go to let the dogs out. And every time I go to let the dogs out, all I hear is this dog barking. And I can understand, but don't take that crap out on us. I mean, we take care of our animals. We have a completely fenced-in area. The only time that we ever really have a problem is with the beagle, and he likes to jump he's climbing the wall. Sorry. He likes to jump over the gate because the gate is a metal gate and the rest of it's privacy fence, which is 6 feet tall, so he can't get over those. And to remedy that, we have put a zip line type deal between a tree and our house because we know that he can't be running around outside by himself. We're responsible pet owners. But are you having fun, Cerberus? Cerberus! He's climbing down it. It's really funny. My walls have carpet on them. At least the ones on the other side do. It's so... Anyways, back to the subject at hand. So we're responsible pet owners. We know that our cats can't be running around outside, that our dogs can't be running around outside like that. It's not like we intentionally let them out the front yard. We don't take them for walks and have them poop all over the place and not bring bags, because I personally hate that crap. If you're going to bring your dog around my yard and it's going to poop all over my yard, at least be a decent human being and pick it up, because I don't like stepping in poop, period. Not at all. I don't think anybody really likes stepping in that. Now, if you're going to like stepping in it, why don't you have them poop in your yard? The next time that I see you in my yard, I'm going to take all 3 dogs and I'm going to go to your yard, and they're definitely going to poop a lot. So, but another thing that's a struggle, is finding a good vet. Like, you always hear about, oh, my pet is my baby and my animals are my babies. I would need a good doctor for my children as much as I would for my animals. And we tried big ones, and like emergency hospitals and stuff, and those kind of vets, and they will literally take every penny you have. And it makes me sad to say that, because my animals need to be caught up on their shots, and it's really expensive to do that, so we have to do them like one at a time pretty much. And it's really frustrating when I can't afford to get them toys or something, or treats, or get food for my house, because I have to deal with my pets. And that's something it's illegal to not do, because you need your rabies shots to get your new licenses, and you need licenses to which dogs are registered, and you need to be registered, or else the city can come and be like, hey, this is a stray dog. Now it's in the pound, and then they go to the pound, and if they're not sold within a couple of weeks, they die. And it's crazy. So I want to make sure that my animals are all set. I want to make sure that they're good. And that's a struggle for me. I did find a small town vet that is amazing. Her name's Sarah Presnick. She's awesome. If you're anywhere near the Grand Haven area, I would highly suggest this woman. She's just amazing. Another struggle that I have is food. It's not really a struggle, because I buy them enough food to last. It's not the amount of food, it's the type of food. I recently discovered, I don't know if anybody's ever had these breath mints for cats and stuff. Well, I had a cat die because of renal failure a couple years ago, and I still have his ashes and everything. His name was Ming Sai, and he was a Siamese cat, one of the ones that my mom adored. It's the only breed she ever really wanted in a cat, which my cat Shade is a black cat, so he was really out of place in my mom's house, because she had like 3 Siamese cats and then my black cat. And then he was my cat too, and he was a Siamese, and he was there too. But so there was 5 cats all together, her 3 Siamese, my 1 Siamese, and my black cat, who was the odd man out. But anyways, and he had renal failure, and the vet asked me, she was like, did you change anything? Did you do anything? Was anything different? I didn't think about it until like a couple months ago, actually, when I was cleaning out a room, and I found this little thing of breath mints, and I was like, oh, there's still some in here. That's really cool. And I opened it up, and there's worms that came out of it. Worms. Like actual worms. Like, I have a picture of it and everything. It was ridiculously disgusting. And I was like, wait, my cat was eating this. Like, and he loved them. And I'm like, that might have contributed to his renal failure. Were these freaking worms? So I'm very picky. After she told me, okay, because of renal failure and stuff, you're supposed to stick away from seafood and stuff like that, which I know cats love. But I stuck away from seafood. I stuck away from shrimp, which is seafood. I stuck away from most of that stuff. I tried to find cat foods and stuff that the first ingredient was a meat and not a meal. But it was a struggle for me to find just a good cat food that wasn't $150 for a 30-pound bag. And that was good quality. It took me forever. And then, what really sucks is when you get them used to a certain kind of food and then you switch it and they start puking all over the place. And that's a lot of animals do this. It's not just cats. My dogs are worse for this, but they're really bad. And I've noticed a lot of dogs are like that too. But you have to like slowly transition them into a new food, which I'm not very good at doing anything slowly. But it's really tough. And especially because I have so many animals, they go through food so fast. And I just can't even imagine the places that actually are sanctuaries for animals, how much food they go through. Another struggle that I have is pests. We live really close to the woods, so we have ticks, and it freaks me out. I literally every night have to pet my dogs entirely and like scratch every piece of their body because I'm afraid there's going to be a tick there. And I see the bites that they get and it freaks me out. It does. It freaks me out. And then I'm like, wait, a tick bit them but didn't like stick around, which really freaks me out too because I'm like, oh, it's got to be somewhere. I'm just not seeing it. And my dogs are quite low to the ground too, which is why my cats don't go out because I don't want that to happen to them either. Also, fleas. We live in a sandy area as well. Like, yes. So you get sand fleas really easily, and the dogs bring them into the house, and they give them to the cats and all that such. And we end up having to get rid of all of them. We haven't actually had fleas in 2 or 3 years. Even with the new cat, we haven't really had fleas. I usually am on it, but that flea medicine costs so much. And a lot of the stuff, especially the stuff they sell at Walmart, like the pet armor crap, is ridiculous. It is so bad. Like I had an animal have an allergic reaction to it. So I called them up. I'm like, he's going bald. My cat was going bald. And they just didn't even care. They were like, oh, is it at the site that you placed it? Oh, well then it's not our product. It must be something else. Literally nothing had changed. There was no other animals brought in the house, no extra stress put on the cat, no nothing. You're going to tell me that nothing changed and this cat's been living perfectly fine for a year and all of a sudden he just starts stressing for no reason? So there's that. And then like my vet was telling me the stuff that's you have to get the bear and bear, like with the cross, and that's the stuff that I get. I usually get it from PetSmart, and it's relatively cheap, but it's not terribly cheap. And my dogs are all virtually different sizes. I have a dog that's under 9 pounds, and a dog that's over 9 pounds, and then a dog that's over 50 pounds. So I have to get 3 different ones for just the dogs. The cats are a little bit easier because the 2 black cats are relatively the same size. Those are both over 9 pounds. But now Severus is under 9 pounds, and he frustrates me. So I have to get 1 small cat one and then 1 large cat one, and then I have to get the large cat one at least twice because you only get 3 in a package usually. They usually cost about like $60 a piece almost. Then I was talking to my vet about Advantage, and what is the other one? Pet Guard or something like that. And one of them, Frontline. She said that you can only get Frontline from vets, and that the ones that they sell in like Walmart and stuff is actually called a black market Frontline, and it's not made by the same company, but for some reason it has the same name because Frontline is only available through your vet. That didn't make any sense to me, but it's like $80 a piece, and I was just like, not going to be able to afford that one. So I get the bear and bear ones from like PetSmart or Petco, and they're usually relatively cheap. But you got to get them like right when they come out because they do go fast because they are cheaper. I don't deal with I don't really deal with mice at all at my house, so I don't really have those kind of pests that I have to deal with. I have been thinking about getting like a hamster or something, but Matt says that we have enough animals. We don't need any more. Unfortunately, I do agree with him though, and he's pretty right about that. Pardon my yawning. Another struggle that I have with having animals and stuff is leaving them. Like, every time I leave them, it hurts a little bit. It's like leaving your baby because they don't understand that you're coming back, and I especially don't like it when I have to leave for a whole day or for like 2 days. And they're taken good care of here, and that's fine. Like, they're let out and they're not like left on their own or anything, but they want me, and that's just really upsetting for me because you're their mom, like you're their only person that they know and love. And one dog is so attached to me that if I get up out of the bed, he wherever I go, he comes with me. If I go to the bathroom, he will sit outside that door and wait for me to be done. And actually, both the boy dogs are like that. My female dog, if I have a blanket, she's on it, But it just, it's really heart wrenching to look back and see them looking at me through the window and being like, "Why aren't you in here with us?" Or, "Where are you going? Why can't we come?" Most places don't allow dogs or anything, so can't really take them. Um, Another struggle that I have is walking dogs. I can't walk my dogs all at once. I can't even walk my two dogs at once because I've tried leash training them and it doesn't work out very well. So now I'm starting to off leash train them. The female dog doesn't do very well. I haven't tried it with Matt's dog because I already know he's going to run. He runs when he's not attached to a chain in the backyard that's fenced in. Um, but my male dog, Havoc, he's actually really good at it. My female dog went into the neighbor's yard and not only went into the neighbor's yard, but tried to go in their house. My male dog, I was able to get his attention and he was listening to me. And like I said, he's the one that's mostly attached to me. He's my baby boy, one of them. Him and Shade are my two original OBs, original babies, OFBs, original fur babies. I don't know. Anyways, they're the original ones that were mine to begin with. Nightmare was actually an ex-boyfriend's, but I knew he couldn't take care of her, so I was like, no, she's mine now, and you can't have her, and I paid for her anyways, so. But then another struggle that I have is when a squirrel or something comes around and they don't want to listen because they're so focused on something else. This is not just my dogs. This is my cats do stuff like this too. They'll sit there doing like, and I'm like, I'm trying to sleep. I can't sleep with that sound near me. I can't do it. Or they'll howl in the middle of the night and I'll hear them, meow, meow, in the middle of the night. Or they'll make these little purry sounds. Hello, baby. Shade has come to visit me for a little bit. He might actually jump up here. You might see him. But so there's that. I can't stand the noises that they make sometimes, but I love them anyways. Hi, baby boy. Want to say hi? It's my little panther. He's my panther, and that's what he looks like a giant freaking panther. Like, this cat is huge. Another struggle that I have is car rides. I can't take them in cars. I haven't really tried all the cats. I think that they'd be a lot better, but my dogs, no. They're too people oriented. Like, they want to sniff things, and I can take them separately and everything, but they just want to know what's going on outside. And if there's a person, they want to bark at them. And I mean, that's a dog thing, so I understand. But they get ridiculous about it. And it gets annoying really fast. Also, my female especially likes to drive. She likes to be right here in the driver's seat with me. And there's only like this much space between me and the steering wheel, and I can't have her there because then all I think about is, oh, what if something happens? What if I get into an accident? And I mean, I'm super vigilant about stuff like that, so I won't get in an accident anyways. But I always think of that stuff. Like, what if something The boys are playing. What if something happens? What if I lose them? What if, I just get in a minor fender bender and they run out the broken window? I don't know. Like, what if stuff like that happens? I think they're done now. Another struggle that I have is treats. I'm a treat giver. I love giving treats. I do. I love them. And my dogs and cats all know when I get near a certain area in the house, treats are coming. When I first got Jade, I wanted to fatten her up really quickly, so I gave her a lot of treats. Every time that I came to the basement, I gave her treats. So now every time I come to the basement, she expects treats, and I'm like, no, you got a treat like 3 days ago. You're fine, but she'll meow, meow, and get up near the cabinet and go meow. So, it's weird, but such is life, I guess. The last thing that I really have a problem with when it comes to pets is because I have so many pets, I look at those people who have like one and they mistreat them and it bugs the crap out of me. Like if I, on a minimum wage job virtually, can afford to have all of these animals well fed and up to date, how can you not? How can you have a dog that's ribs are showing? I just I don't understand it. I free feed my dogs too. I have a giant like tub that they eat out of. It's a trough virtually. It's only like this tall so that all the dogs can get to it because they're kind of short. And it just baffles my mind when you have a dog that's really skinny. How do you even get like that? How does an animal get like that? It hurts my heart. So those are just some struggles on pet owning and what have you. Also, cuddling lizards is a bad idea. And snakes, it's a bad idea. But we want to do it. I still want to do it. I like putting my lizard on my shirt and just walking around with her. She doesn't really like that though, because she's like, "What the heck is going on?" But that's a struggle that I have with that kind of animal. I know I talked for like a half an hour, and I doubt many of you are going to even watch this video because it's so long. But there's just some struggles because I struggle with a lot of things. Yeah. All right. So subscribe if you like relatively videos like this. Hit like or let me know some struggles that you have. If you have pets, what kind of pets they are, their names, all that stuff. I'm really into animals. So I would love to know it. Have a great night, guys. Bye.